So I want to get started today with a little story. So we're talking about shrinking. Being quiet when we're unhappy about something, when something happens to us, kind of letting things slide, And so when I was in like the 8th grade, man, we're going way back, right? My little bitty old Tennessee hometown. So we had a little school dance, and I had no problem going to school dance, no problem. I love music, I love to dance, all that. And I went and I had such a good time. Everything was good. We were having a great time. And you know what happened? The music slowed down. And I know all y'all know where I'm going with this. But what happens when the music slows down? You're either going out with your boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, but you're either going to go out and dance, or you're going to kind of shrink back and become that wallflower, right? Oh, I was definitely a wallflower, that's for sure. So I shrunk back, and there's nothing wrong with that in that kind of situation. So I became my little wallflower, and lo and behold, this nice looking man comes over, well, boy then, comes up to me and wants to dance with me. And I'm like, really? Okay. So we danced. I thought, man, this is like the coolest thing. I thought I was somebody, right? Because that's how it is when you're in the 8th grade. And then, things were good, and it was something funny about it. And this almost sounds like something in a movie, but this is a honest truth. So I found out that this boy was basically dared to dance with me. And you know what? Yeah, that hurt my feelings. I acted like I was tough and everything, but yeah, it hurt my feelings. It was kind of funny too, because later on, he kind of flirted with me a little bit, and I was like, well, that's weird, right? And like, he had this girlfriend, and she's one of the few women, the few girls that was a little bit bigger than me. She was like real athletic and everything, and yeah. And I was like, no, I don't want to mess with her. Normally I wasn't the kind of person for that, but she was older than me and bigger than me. And I was like, yeah, I don't know if that's a good idea. But my point of the story is I kept quiet about it. I kind of pushed back, once the whispers and all that kind of stuff kind of started, I just kind of laughed it off or whatever. I just, put it in the back, whatever, and I didn't deal with that. So that's kind of my little segue into getting into all this today, because it did bother me. I just, and I think that's what we do when things bother us. We push it down, especially if, you're like Gen X, because y'all know I'm always talking about being Gen X. And, we really learned to push that stuff down when we was kids, right? We learned to toughen up. Well, I let it go, and I think we do that, And the thing about it is even, the trees lean towards the sunlight. And we have to shine, folks. We have to shine. We have to lean towards that sunlight in order to grow ourselves.